All right, everybody. Let's get started. Welcome to today's session on Marketing Cloud Intelligent Report. Apologies for last time. We could not start this session due to some technical issue with the platform. So we kind of reschedule the same session to today. So today's presenter would be our group's co-lead, Sharath. Probably most of you might know him, right? If you're from Bangalore, right? So with that, let's get started. So Sharath, passing on to you, please.
Yep. Thanks, Pradeep. Hope you can able to see my screen.
I can see. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. My name is Sharath Kethumanna, and I'm based out of Singapore, where I have over 7 years of experience in the Salesforce industry, where I work extensively on Salesforce Marketing Cloud, Pardot, Sales and Service Cloud, and recently I started working on Google Cloud as well. I'm working at a company called Digital Alchemy as a campaign consultant, and I'm a Success Certified and a Salesforce Champion 2020. That's a short intro about me. Let's get into agenda. In this session, I will guide you through like the intelligence report and the advanced intelligence report. First, I will start with an overview of intelligence report. Next, I will demonstrate like how to create pivot tables, how we can schedule the reports on the SFMC. After that, we can delve into an overview of advanced intelligence reports as well, where we can explore custom dashboards, which could highly beneficial for the marketing standpoint. Finally, I will walk you through some examples like how we can query to extract the necessary data from the advanced reporting by utilizing the data extension. Yep. Let's start with an overview of intelligence report as a first step. What is intelligence report and how it's going to help us? Intelligence report will help you to create and visualize the analysis of your email journey data as well as push notification, right? And please note that this tool doesn't provide a subscriber level or an event level data. I'm just talking about the intelligence report, not the advanced one. But when it comes to the advanced feature, the advanced will provide like a more additional features in depth of analytics, but the advanced option is not available for all the customers. And it's going to be, I think, for example, if you need an advanced reporting, by default, we need to pay some extra cost, as I mentioned, which is not available by default. I think whenever you guys will explore the advanced one, right, compared to the intelligence report, that will give like more ideas about the insights of each campaign or a campaign performances and the effectiveness. That's where like the more of the optimization will comes into picture. This is where like a clients were not using reporting tools like Tableau or Google Analytics, something like that. Whoever is not using, that's where definitely this advanced report will help them to optimize their campaigns. But when compared to the normal report, advanced will have more options, even with the integration options with other platforms as well. Yeah, I will come to that part. But when it comes to the general intelligence report, by default you have a dimension as well as measurement. What is dimension is nothing but I think this is where whoever if they're from the analytics team or if they're not non-analytics, by default they have to understand like what is related, what is dimension and what is measurement, right? That's where it's easy to like to pull any kind of reports based on the ask from the marketers, or based on what we need to, like if we need to optimize anything. But the first, what is dimension? The dimension will represent a non-numerical data where you can use it for your segmentation, like campaign name, campaign ID, journey name, journey version. These are all like, it's a dimension where we cannot, like, numerically, where we cannot measure it, right? That's where, like, if for example, if you need to run a report, you cannot run just like based on opens, clicks, something like that. By default, you need a dimension, whether you need to run a report on email level, whether you need to run a report on journey level. That is where a dimension will comes into picture, and that's called the dimension, where whichever the non-numerical data or which cannot be measured, that is called dimensions. And the next one is measurements. The measurement, as the name says, like, which is going to be measured based on numerical data, right? To perform any kind of calculations. The common measurements, like where we used to extract for all the reporting, are like clicks, opens, bounce, unsubscription. These are all the common measurements. To access the intelligence report, by default, you need an access for it. For that, it needs to be enabled under the roles and permissions. But when assigning the roles, you can also set some permissions within the intelligence report itself. For example, they can create a pivot table, or they can view a pivot table, they can view a report, but they cannot edit it and they cannot save it. That kind of permissions, definitely we can set it up on the intelligence report level. And I think one common question where we used to see, like, every time is like, where we can access the report, whether can we access the report at an enterprise level or an BU level. This was similar to like what we are going to use it when it comes to data standpoint, or when it comes to the email standpoint. For example, you have used shared folders, right, on an email level or a table level or a data extension level. It's similar over here as well. If anything which needs to be accessible for all the BU level data, then you have to go to enterprise unit. If when it comes to the BU level, it stick to that particular business unit. Like, whatever the campaigns you have launched on that BU, only you can able to view the data on BU level on the intelligence report. If you go to enterprise unit, where you can see all the BUs launch data. Now I will explain the most important, I think, information by default, whoever is accessing the intelligence report, we have to know this. The first one is data retention. Whenever you are activating the intelligence report for the first time, right, up to 90 days of historical data is available by default, right? For example, assume you were using uh, SFMC for a long time, but now we get an access for data aroma, sorry, intelligence report. At that point, you can get like last 90 days of data, whoever we have, whatever the data which was present with respect to email and the push notification, only last 90 days where we can be. And this data will be available up to 2 years, meaning, like, for example, when you guys come to tracking extract, where we can view like last 1 year of data, when it comes to when we're using the data views, where we can uh, get like last 6 months data, right? Similar to that, when it comes to the intelligence report, where we can access up to last 2 years of data, but it's not specific to user specific. It's overall, like, measurements and the dimensions. The next one is a data refresh. It will take generally, like, for example, once you send out any email from the SFMC, it will take 24 hours to reflect that data on the intelligence report. The next is data deletion. For example, if you remove the personal information or deleted any contact record, right, that kind of data will be removed from the intelligence report within 90 days. I think, for example, some of the clients where where they used to delete the data regularly, because they don't want to pay more money by just storing the data on Salesforce, right? In that kind of scenario, like once you deleted those contact records, that kind of data you won't be seen like after 90 days. Anything related interactions with respect to that customer. The next is data migration. If you're planning to migrate a data between the stacks, I think that kind of migration won't be supported. Somehow, I think support team can help you to bring some historical data, but not the entire migration of data. And the last one is time zone. For example, if you make any changes with respect to the time zone uh, on the intelligence report or like the general main setting or an account setting, that will only affect the data collected after the changes, right? Where it will take around 7 days to get that whatever the change with respect to the time zone, that data will be reflected just after 7 days. Okay, so let's get into the tool instead of using it. I hope everyone can see a Salesforce Marketing Cloud UI. Can anyone? Pradeep, can you confirm?
I can, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. I think once we logged into the Marketing Cloud, by default, if you go to Analytic Builder, under that you have an option of Intelligence Report. As I mentioned, like by default, you haven't get an access for advanced intelligence report. You won't see like all these tabs. Instead of that, like you will by default you will see just dashboard, pivot tables and reports. If you enable for advanced report, then only you can get an access for cross channel reporting, and you can write a queries on the advanced intelligence report, and you can just map any of the data extension which is present in whichever the D is. You can directly get connected over here, and we can start running the queries and we can get the measurement of it. I will come to that part. As I mentioned, by default you will see just three tabs when whoever is not enabled for advanced one. The first one is like a dashboard. This dashboard will easily analyze your data and helps you to make a data driven decisions. uh, by default you have some pre-built dashboards. If you saw over here, like all these were pre-built dashboards. uh, this is all related to email related one, and you have an, for example, if you're using push notifications with respect to your platform, then you can see all the push notification related default dashboard, and you have in-app messages as well. Okay, this is a dashboard like where you will see by default. The second one will be like pivot tables. How this pivot table will help you is this will help you to explore your data, and you can create a custom reports. And this table, you can organize like based on your requirement, and you can summarize, and you can extract the report, and you can schedule the report to the marketers or whoever at the endpoint. And last, we have the scheduled report. I think this is where the place like where you can retrieve, view, and share the detailed analysis of your data. Like you have multiple options by scheduling the report. Yeah, I will go through like one by one. First, let's start with a dashboard. As I mentioned, a dashboard will offers a ready-to-use visualization for your email, journey data, push notification, and the in-app messages. By default, it will be having like five predefined dashboard. The first one is email overview. This will provide you an high level overview of your email campaigns, which including metrics like sends, bounce rate, open rate, something like that. Like just an overview, like where you can see like all the deliveries information. When it comes to the deliveries, Like this offers a detailed visualization of email delivery data, which includes all the delivery related KPIs such as sends, deliveries, bounce rate, deliveries timeline, an in-depth breakdown of your domains, like how many emails were you sending by week, and email level, like which is the email where you what is the email which is sent for these many customers, something like that. I think you can get a view of everything over here. And for example, by default, if you're using like campaigns or emails, by default email name, all the email name, whatever the business unit is having all the emails, it will be by default, you can view it over here. If you want to view like last 90 days, last 7 days, last year, all this, where we can filter and you can compare and you can select whichever the email you need to be see the report like how it's performing. Similarly, the email engagement, this will presents a detailed visualization of your email engagement data. The previous one, the deliveries, that is just a delivery which consisting of sends, bounce, and yeah, something like that, the delivery related one. But the engagement one, where it will give you like opens, clicks, unsubscribe, that kind of engagement, where this will able to give. And again, it's give you like engagement timelines, the breakdown at a domain level, and how your emails are performing. All those information is going to be given by over here. The next one is email performances. This is again a detailed visualization of your email performance data, which includes both sends and engagement one. Meaning like this will shows like if you see over here, it is showing all the deliveries informations like sends, bounce, something, yeah. And when it comes to the engagement, where you can see unique opens, clicks, click rate, unsubscribe, I think all that where you can see it in one place. And again, this is a email level where you can filter out whichever the email where you want to see like how the emails are performing. You can use it. And all these dashboards are, it's, you can just extract and send it to whoever you want on a different for example, you can use CSV to extract the data, spreadsheet, something like that. We can extract and we can send it, but we cannot schedule on a day-to-day basis. Okay. The next one is journey performance, like whatever we have talking, the last four, like the last four is more of a like email level. And this journey performance will give you like more of a journey level. For example, if a journey is having multiple emails, you can filter out based on whichever the journey you need, whichever the version you need to check like how it's performing. Under that version, if you need to check just one email, that kind of filter or a journey level data, where you can see from this particular place. And you can even see like which is your best performing journeys and the least performing journeys. You can view all those information in this journey performance email bite. This is same exact replica for the push notification. You have similar kind of dashboards, predefined dashboards, where you can see deliveries, engagement, performance, and the journeys. I think since that I'm using a demo tool, there is less data to show. Like this is how like the predefined dashboard, where you can see, for example, when it comes to the email overview, where you can see the total bounce rate, sends, open rate, click to open rate, like how our domains are performing, what is the daily send compared to clicks and opens, and which is the bottom five journeys, which is the top five journeys. You can view on a granular level based on filtering based on your requirement. It's similar for email delivery, since it's more of a delivery kind of information, where you can get all the deliveries related on a campaign level or an email level. When it comes to the engagement, again, as I mentioned, it's more of an engagement related data, which where you can see like compare and see opens, clicks, click through rate, unsubscribe, all those information you can view it from here. This is the last one, the journey one, and this is more of a journey level where you can filter based on a journey level to see like how a journey is performing. The next is available metrics for the intelligence report. I think whatever you're seeing, like not only this, I think we have more set of available metrics which was recently added as well. And even like we can create our own customized metrics as well by writing queries. And some of the queries are by default, which was already present on help.com. We can utilize that as well. But this is the available metrics, which is default we will be having for the intelligence reports. Okay. Based on this, like whatever where we are going to use for the measurement and the dimension, these are all the attributes or metrics where we need to utilize on a day-to-day basis. As I mentioned, I think this the push notification is exact replica of email. I don't want to go in detail about this. The next is pivot table. The pivot table will help you to explore your data from various angles, where you can utilize pivot table to filter, sort, and group the data sets based on any metrics or dimensions. And additionally, it will help you to create a custom reports that summarize your data. Let me show like how we can explore uh, a pivot table. You can see this is where the pivot table tab, like for example, if you want to summarize or if you want to filter out any of the data, like by default, once you created the pivot table, you have an option at the top left is like from where to where the data where you're looking for, right? You have all the options like 7 days, 21 days, 1 month, 1 quarter, last year, something like that. Like you have all the options to check like from where you need the data. And here where you can see whatever the rows and columns which is mentioning, here where you can filter out based on whichever the dimensions or the measurement which is required. For example, if you click this plus button, by default you can see it like all the dimensions and all the measurement. For example, if you click just like open, this will give you like all the open related dimensions. Yep. Let me just add like total opens. Okay. Email to click rate, total clicks. If you just search for like whichever the dimension which is required, it will shows like all the default one. And even like if you have created any custom based on writing the queries, it will show those as well. And the next one is, for example, any measurements, sorry, any dimensions like journey name, journey related. For example, I need to view like which journey is performing very well. And I need to know like email content. By default, you have two options to check the email name. Either you need to go by email content name, or either you need to go by job ID if you already know the job ID of that particular email, or like if you need to filter out based on specific job ID. And for example, if you want to view an email link alias, I think this is where most of the marketers where with they need to see, since we don't have like a heat map in SFMC. For example, email alias, where this will helps. For example, one journey is having 10 emails, and that 10 emails is having like 100 links. This will help to view like how each link is performing, right? For example, if we targeted 100 customers, out of that 10 email we have each email is received by 10 customers, and how many of that 10 customers have received this URLs or a different links on that email. You can see on a granular level report like what we required. As I mentioned, you can see all the dimensions, all the measurements. There are n number of over here, like as I mentioned, you can filter out based on whatever you want. Once you have filtered out, this is how it will populate. Since there is no data in this demo tool, it's not showing, but generally it will shows the journey names, email content. For example, if you want to filter out a specific journey name, then this is where the add filter will comes into picture, where just you need to go and search for a journey name. And once you've selected, you can see all the list of journeys which is present in this particular business unit. Since there is no journeys, it's not showing, but generally it will show all the list of all the journey names, and you can select only a certain uh, journeys. For example, assume like if you want to send a, there is one marketer which is handling just two campaigns, you can schedule that particular two campaigns to that marketers by selecting which are all the KPIs which they want to look into, by selecting only those two journey names. Okay, once we have selected the journey filter, as I mentioned, you can view it as a dashboard to analyze as well. At the end, if for example there are some marketers where they don't have to log in, they want to receive their emails, or they want to directly receive the report to the Slack channel, I think we have all the options. For example, you can schedule it from here itself. You have an option of a quick download and send it to marketers, and you have an option of schedule as well based on how they want. Once you have clicked the schedule option, by default it will go to the reporting section, because we already created what is required for us, right? It will directly go to the report, and it will ask like, okay, when we want to schedule, what is the format we need to send for that particular report. For example, if you just select, okay, I need to just add. Once you save, by default you will see the look and feel like this. If you go, and you have an option of more options, as I mentioned, where you just need to set up a flat tables, and that will redirect to reports. And this is where like you can filter out, like for example, if you want to send this on a weekly once, right, on which particular day, like which where you need to sell, you how you need to send out an email, something like that. For example, if you're using Google Drive, if you're using Google Cloud, we can directly send out the reports over there as well. And once you have saved, you have to name it. Once you can see, like you can just save and run the report. Once you have start running on a weekly basis, every Sunday, whoever you are going to add, they will receive the emails. Okay, by default you can add a comma separator and add whoever you want. It's this is where like you should create everything on pivot table, and you can schedule the report. And we have other option is like by default you need to go to reporting section, and you can create a report, and you should select from here. For example, you have to name the report, and you should select from here which are all the measurements which is required for you. I think this is also a bit easy, like where you can see everything, like whichever you want you can directly select from here itself. Same for dimension as well, you can see all the dimensions, whichever you want you can select. And at the end again, it's just like scheduling, like how you need to schedule, how frequently, and like whom you need to schedule it. I think this is where the report will comes into picture. Okay, this is whatever I talked till now. This is more of an intelligence report. As I mentioned earlier, like by default, I think most of the clients, every client is having an intelligence report as a default option, but not the advanced one. Next, I will talk about the intelligence report for an engagement advanced. This is a premium version of a reporting tool, uh, which available extensively for pro editions and above. In this session, like we will explore more capabilities that comes within the advanced version and understand the benefits as well. Here the key points or the key functionalities which offers from the advanced reports are, which is as a first step, we have an option of enhanced dashboard capabilities. Like earlier, like whatever I shown, that those are like a pre-built dashboard. Like you cannot like customize based on your requirement. You have a deep pre-built dashboard. You have to just filter based on whatever it was present over there. But when it comes to the advanced, we can customize based on our requirement. For example, there are clients which are running, for example, APAC, they are running for 10 campaigns. NA region, they are running for 10 campaigns. LATAM, they're running for 10 campaigns. Something like region wise, you can create your own dashboard where you can view like how region wise the emails or the journeys are performing. That is one kind of use case. And the second one use case is like, for example, when it comes to the retail ones, you have scheduled a number of welcome journeys. Assume you can consolidate, or you can group all the welcome journeys, you can group all the retention related campaigns, you can group all the abandoned cart campaigns, something like that. You can group it and you can view on one dashboard. uh, you can build however you want. It's, as I mentioned, since it's a custom dashboard, you can add any kind of widgets you want. And as I mentioned, you can even query down as well data. Yep. uh, Okay, let me get into the tool. I think by default, the cross-channel solution, like here, you can explore the ready-made cross-channel apps providing by the Marketing Cloud Intelligence, and this will help you to harmonize various data sources for the quick visualization as well. For example, if you want to integrate with any other tools, definitely you can do that from here. By default, you have some free applications where you can just integrate and you can view it, like how your data is performing. For example, if you consider the email and web conversion, by default, I think most of the clients, by default, they require this information. You have to just get it now, and you have to just install, yeah, something like that you have to follow. And you, once you send out any URLs, automatically it will start converting, and it will start tracking all those information, web related information. I don't do that. Similarly, I think not only these apps, you have many apps as well to integrate with intelligence report. You can integrate and you can view like how our campaigns are performing. Then the next one is setup. Here, setup, I think, for example, you have some custom attributes where you need to verify based on the data, whatever you have. Based on that, if you want to extract any reports, that's where you have an option of connect your data extension. For example, if you want to connect, by default, assume like sendlog will have all the default attributes to capture all the sent information. At the end, you have all, you can add some custom attributes as well, right? If you connect sendlog to this particular data extension places, you can query and you can create, you can verify whatever the metrics you need to look into. You can verify everything. Just you need to go and connect the data extension. You can view all the data extension which is present, and you can yeah, both shared as well as main data extension. You just need to select the data extension. Once selected, if you click next, automatically that will be connected. From where, once it connected, what you can do is you can use that data extension to start querying from the query tab. Yep. Similar to that, as I mentioned, you can create, you can add any set of data extension over here, like before you need to query down on the queries tab. And you have an option of calculate measurements in the dimension. As I mentioned earlier, like if you want to create any custom dimensions or any custom measurements based on specific attributes, this is where the place where you need to create any dimensions. For example, you can see here you have to write a query and you have to save it as one of the dimension. Once you saved it, by default you can use that under the query tabs. You can start using that. Yep, that's same for a measurement as well. And you have report settings, like if you want to export more than 7 MB data, I think you have to give that permissions. As I mentioned, queries, I think this is where the tab, better I will come to this afterwards. Let me go to dashboard. For example, as I mentioned, if you want to create any custom dashboard, right, as a first step, you have to create a collection. Once you created a collection, you can see over here, I've just created few minutes back one collection. For assume, as I already mentioned, you can create a dashboard based on region specific campaigns, based on business specific campaigns. How you want to group, how you have to create a collection, it's up to you and up to business and up to marketers, like how they want to view the data. But once you created the collection under that, for example, if I want to give an example, uh, what we used to do is, for example, most of the time where we used on a region specific dashboard, because a region specific marketers will be there, so they can, if they want to look into any of the campaign, what we used to do is we will build one dashboard for APAC region. That dashboard will consisting of like all the required whatever the required from the marketers, will build based on their requirement. Yep, for example, if you want to create any dashboard, as a first step, like just add new, add the blank dashboard, and here you have to edit mode. Once you have done this, you can select any kind of widgets based on your requirements again. Like for example, on day one you won't get to know like how to use all these widgets, but like after you were using like one or two build dashboard, or if you spend some time around this, definitely it's easy to build any dashboards. For example, assume like if you want to compare any dates between the campaigns, then this is where the date, you have to use date as a widget. And you can add, like for example, based on like what kind of date you are looking for. Okay, I want to know like all the event date of a campaign, something like that. So you can filter out based on specific events. Okay, I'm just giving an example, like how we should add the widgets. Yep. Once you have added, just go to plus symbol and again come back. For example, I want to filter out based on journeys. Just add filters and click here, and you can see filter as an option. Go to widgets and you can just check for example journey name, whichever you want. It's completely depend on the business and how marketers want to look into the data. Just filter out, for example, if you want to filter out specific journeys, that is where you can do it over here. For example, you have selected a journey name, right? You can able to view all the journey names which is present in this particular uh, business unit. You can select, that's what I mentioned earlier. For example, what we used to do is we will select all the APAC related campaigns or a journeys which is present over here. Assume this is just for APAC marketers, something like that. You will select all the journeys from here, just save it. Yep. The next again, for example, similarly journey version. Assume like I want to see a journey version. Similarly, filter it. Go to data, select a journey filter, journey version, filter based on which version. Obviously, we need to look back for all the versions. Yeah. Next, like let's see the email sent and the clicks based on the email domain, right? Assume like that. Select the bar chart for that. Here, where you need to select um, domain or email name. Total clicks, total sends. Domain. What this will show is at the end, like for example, I have selected the clicks and the domains, right? Which are all the domain which is performing well, like to, you will get the total number of clicks with respect to that, and you can filter out just to show the top 5 domains, something like that. For and again, just go and just keep on adding based on what's required. For example, select a pie chart, just add same, like I need to see like how opens are performing with respect to domains, email total opens, and I need to see like on a different domains how it's performing. Just select. I think these are all like a day-to-day basis where marketers will look into it. And apart from this, like what they need to see is it's more of like normal KPIs. The normal KPIs, for example, you can where you can keep on adding like whichever the normal KPIs where you need to look into, just keep on adding those informations over here. At the end, like for example, once you have added everything, like I've just created for one example which is having data. For example, here you can see on a domain wise where you can see like how many clicks on each domain which is performing. And here also you can see Hotmail, Yahoo, iCloud, Gmail, how it's performing, how its domains performing on a cent level, which are all the journeys you can select and filter out, which version you need to select, filter out, and the common KPIs. You can, as I mentioned, you can customize based on your requirement, but you have to know like which dimension and which measurements where you need to uh, use for your like what you need by default, right? If you know that kind of information, definitely yeah, you can build based on whatever the requirements you will be having. Next. Next, I think by default, whenever you build any of the dashboards, right, you have to know like uh, there are some options, a page filter or page level filters, like how you can do that. For example, by default, a page level filter, maybe we can put it like based on the dates level, based on the dimension level, like journey name, campaign name, something like that. It again, it depends on like how we want. What I'm talking over here is, for example, once you build any of the dashboard, uh, this is where the view, right? For example, by default, if you want to filter out anything, you can filter out based on page level filter, right? Like as I mentioned, you can filter based on journey. Specific journeys only needs to be present in this particular dashboard. Just filter out that particular journeys. Just filter out based on specific campaign names. So you can, if you keep it that campaign names over here, automatically this dashboard won't see any other journey related or a campaign related KPIs at all, where you can view everything in one place, what's required for you. This is all about like a custom dashboard. As I mentioned, like once you start building, I think once you saw the data on your platforms, yeah, you will automatically get to know like you can build it based on all the at measurements and the dimension what we have over here. The next is queries one. As I already mentioned, by default, if you check on help.intelligence.com with respect to the Salesforce one, you have a lot of queries which was already present over there where it helps to create a different set of measurements. But if you need beyond that, where you need to look into something based on the table, based on the data extension which is present, so that's where like you need to write it over here. But the problem over here is like you can able to see like the top 5,000 information, 5,000 rows only. That's where the problem with respect to this. And but if there is small clients, definitely this will be useful for them to like based on the table what we have at the back end and what we are using on a day-to-day basis, which helps to create the report based on our requirements. You have builder and an SQL option. Builder is nothing but like where you don't need to write any queries. Just select the dimensions default one and select the measurements which you are looking for and just run it. Save and run it. And yeah, this will help you to like give you the whatever the data which is required for you. And you have other option where you need to write a query from the scratch itself. For that, as I mentioned, like you need a data set. For example, you can able to see for once you connected with any of your data extension which is present over here, like you can use the data extension directly to write a queries over here. See here, this is just a default query. Like once you save these kind of queries, it will automatically start saving over here. Based on your requirement, you will just drag and drop, and you can make that modification with respect to these queries. And again, as I mentioned, there are queries which was already present in help.salesforce.com where you guys can take a look. So that will helps you to like to get a more granular level of detail about the customers you are looking for. This is all about queries. I think I have covered most of the stuff. Again, when we start writing the queries on the intelligence report, I think these are all the things where we need to look into it. For example, as I mentioned, you can add any number of data extension which was already present in your main business unit or a shared folder. You can connect with respect to the advanced intelligence report, and you can start querying over here. And you can extract from the query itself, where you can download and export the data through SFTP, Google Cloud. You can do that option as well. From where here as well, you can extract it. Yep, I think that's all.
Thanks, Sharath. Does anyone have a question? Sharath, if you want to take some question,
Yep,
have a
sure.
look into the chat, or if anyone want to ask directly, please come off mute and you can ask the question. But in the meantime, Sharath, you can have a look in the chat.
Yep, I think I can see Harish. Any document shared for this? Yeah, sure. I can after this session I can share this document.
Yeah, we'll email everybody with the recording and whatever the presentation
Yep.
is. Yeah.
I think that's all. I haven't seen any questions related to the session, but yeah, most of them were asked about the
So
documentation. Yeah, sure.
Harish J asked one. I'm not sure if I understand. It says, can we get the top performance URL over a year in the B?
Yeah, like okay, on an URL level, you can see like how URLs are performing, but you cannot able to filter out just an alias or a link level. By default, you don't expect URL on the intelligence report. You have an option of link alias. If by default you will be adding a link alias for all the URLs, right? You will see the clicks, but there is no top performance where you can extract directly from it. You have to filter out based on your journeys or campaigns. That's where you can see it, like how URLs are performing. Yep.
You can count number of maybe clicks on the URL and measure the performance in terms of clicks, right?
Yep. But we can't able to extract one URL which is like top performing, something like that. For example, we have a journeys, we have an emails where we get to know like which are all the emails performing well. Not, it will give you like all the opens, clicks information, but that is not says like okay, this is the URL which is performing well. It will give like overall journey level and the
Journey
email level.
level, email level, not at URL level.
Right.
Right. Thank you. Any other question, guys? Please feel free to unmute yourself. We got about you know another 4 minutes. So I want to give everybody chance to ask if they have any question. Otherwise, feel free to email Sharath directly if you need any support in marketing cloud intelligence reports. Thanks, Sharath. This was a really great session. So with that, I think we can close. If there is no question coming in into the chat, let's close it and stay tuned. We'll arrange, maybe another session on a different marketing cloud topic soon. We'll reach out to you via email, right on the group. Thanks everybody for attending this session. Thanks, Sharath, for the wonderful
Yep.
session. Thank you.
Thanks all.
Thank you.